Hey guys, welcome out to the shop today. We got a chainsaw project on the bench. We've got this older Poulan 2000. Just needs a quick tune-up, I believe. And we're going to try to get this thing started. It hasn't been started in quite a while. And I tested it out briefly and there was no start whatsoever. So we're going to dive into this, see what the problem is. It's that time where we're trying to get everything ready for spring. You know, you want to do campouts and stuff like that. You need a chainsaw to cut up the wood, and then, you know, an axe to split it, stuff like that. So we're going to try to get this one restarted and see if we can give it some more life. It's in fairly good condition. Doesn't look like anything is really wrong. Hopefully it just needs a quick carb clean, and I'll show you guys how to do that. We're going to be using ultrasonic cleaner back here behind the mess of all the other parts. I've got like 4 or 5 different projects going on right now in here, and it's chaotic. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at this thing. All right, so like I said, this is a Poulan 2000. It does look like an older one. It has choke, start, you know, your pull cord, gas. You have oil up here in the front, and there is no primer bulb on here, which is different from what I'm used to seeing. Usually there are primer bulbs on here to help get the fuel up and get it started, but we're looking at the instructions right here to see if there's anything different, and it doesn't say there's anything different. Just put this to start, turn the choke to on, which it is, and then we're supposed to be giving this a few pulls. So let me go ahead and check to make sure there's some gas, and then we'll try to make sure, or just see if it'll fire over. So I am not expecting this to start, just because I kind of messed with it for like 2 minutes and I did not get anything out of it. But let's go make sure that there's fuel in here, which there is. Does it smell old? No, it doesn't smell old. I'm assuming that it is correct. I'm assuming the fuel is correct. So we got the choke on. That is there. And it doesn't say anything different. Turn choke to the right, hold rear firmly. So let's go ahead and give it a few pulls. And there's absolutely nothing in there. So we got to see and figure out what is going on, see if fuel is even getting up in there. So first thing that I always like to do is try to find a spark plug, pour a little gas in the spark plug, and try to make sure that it will at least start. I'm going to remove this back handle just to see what is underneath it. There shouldn't be anything underneath here except for maybe the the fuel line runs up through here. Fuel line looks and feels pretty good still. Doesn't feel gummy or anything weird like that. So that's a good sign. So we'll put that back on. And then we'll go ahead and take off this, because I'm assuming the carburetor is going to be underneath there, because that's where the choke is. So we'll go ahead and take this off. All right, there it is. There's the carburetor. So nothing stuck with the choke. Look at that air cleaner. That thing is pristine. So that's nice. There's a little bit of debris right there. Let's go ahead and blow that out. Get that taken care of right this second. And so I think the thing that I want to do next is pour a little bit of fuel down in there and just make sure it'll fire over. I was gonna say it might make a mess, but alright, so let's go ahead and close that up. Make sure it's in start, and let's go ahead and give it a few pulls. You guys can hear it starting to crank over. Guys, so I think this is going to be a pretty straightforward run at this. I think it's going to be the carburetor that is going to need to be cleaned up. I mean, even the carburetor looks fairly new. Looks like it had like a new package on it. Maybe ran and then sat for like a winter or something. And that's when, if you have a carburetor and this happens, you guys will learn to use like non-ethanol fuel. I have a weed eater that I just started up for the first time this year and haven't ran it in 6 or 7 months, and it started up on the second pull, and it's just a cheap weed eater. So that one screw's done. That screw is done. Alright, so I gotta remember where the pull was. Right there. So we got 2 screws. And we got this fuel line. So we're gonna go ahead and take this off. This is a very basic carburetor. So we got one screw that holds the, I think this is all your valves and stuff in here. I don't know the actual term of it, so you got to use your imagination. That looks like a brand new kit and everything. But it's like it's just not getting the fuel. But we're gonna go ahead and clean this out. Put this in the ultrasonic cleaner and let it do its thing. And then we'll see if it'll fire over, if it was just a simple carburetor issue or if there was something else going on. So we are back and got the carburetor all cleaned out and went ahead and blew out all the different little ports that I could, and everything looks really good. This looks like almost like a brand new kit setup. So I don't know if it was brand new and then just didn't get used for a little bit, but everything seems in really good condition. So if this was replaced and never ran since it's been replaced, then it could be like a setting with your high and low settings, because these look almost even. So I don't know if somebody has tried to mess with it or not, but we'll find out. So all the valves are cleaned out, or all the little ports on the top. And this is not a bad carburetor. It's a Walbro, which is a name brand. So we'll have to see what is going on with this. Alright, so if this does not get it to start, then we'll go ahead and actually check into the fuel delivery setup and see, make sure that the hose is all connected correctly. I'll probably pull the cap off and try to shine a flashlight in there to see if like even the bulb and everything is still, or the filter and stuff is still good down there. But right now we've got the choke on. Start is on. Let's go ahead and do this again. Alright, so that may just be residual from earlier. So I don't think that we are getting any kind of fuel, any kind of real good fuel pickup. So I'm going to tighten this back up and just see if that may be the case. Because at first we weren't getting any kind of start whatsoever. So I pulled this all out and there's no cracking. The hose is still very flexible. It doesn't look like there's any kind of debris buildup on that filter. The filter still looks pretty good. So it may not be exactly a fuel delivery problem. This looks kind of split right there. But I don't see any other kind of split in there, and the fuel line still feels remarkably good. So I'm gonna tuck that back in there, and then we'll try a few more pulls before we move on to the next troubleshooting item. So I added a little bit more fuel into it and shortened that fuel line just a bit. I think it was actually like tangled up on itself in there and wasn't able to sink to the bottom like it's supposed to, or like float with the fuel, so it wasn't getting the fuel like it needs to. And now I wonder if we just aren't set correctly. So you guys can still hear it running in the background. I'm gonna let it sit out there for probably about 10-15 minutes, just kind of idling. Go out there, rev it up every now and then, and just let it do its thing. And you know, it's back to life now. Hey, that was the easy fix. Great to start off the season with something like this. Remember to check on your small engine equipment. They should be started more than just once or twice a year, just to keep everything going. Helps with the oil getting on the pistons and everything like that, getting all the parts moving and circulating. So it's always good every once in a while just to go out there and just start your stuff, even in the middle of winter time. Even though you may not be using it, it's still good to go ahead and get out there and just crank it up, let it run for a few minutes, and just shut it back off, just to get the stuff moving. So I'm not going to stay in here much longer, guys. You can see it's pretty smoky in here. I've got a fan on, trying to blow some of this out. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video, and thank you guys for watching. If you guys are new, hit that subscribe button, get out in your shop, do some work, and have a good weekend. We'll see you guys later.